So then, we have confirmation for the WRC for 2026. We have our lineups confirmed. M Sport will field 2 full-time Ford Puma Rally 1s for 2026 for all Irish crews as well. Josh McAlean will be returning alongside Owen Tracy, whilst John Armstrong, vice champion for the European Rally Championship, will be stepping up to the WRC full-time alongside co-driver Shane Byrne. And this is a big deal. It's a big deal for the world of rallying, it's a big deal for the drivers, it's a big deal for Irish rallying as well. In this video I want to have a bit of a talk about that and talk about what it could mean for the future of rallying. But firstly, let's talk about the drivers. I'll start off with Josh McAlean, who's going into his second season in Rally 1. He's actually the younger of the two drivers at 26 years old. He did the full season this season with M Sport. His best finish was, I believe, a 7th place, and I think he got that on 2 separate occasions with the season opening Rally Monte Carlo, as well as the late season CER. He's previously featured on the WRC support ladder. He's run in WRC2 over the past couple of seasons, largely with TalkSport. He ended up with a best of... I think he ended up picking up some good... runner-up, wasn't he, in class. Portugal in 2024 was one of his best results for that. But in addition to that, he's done WRC3 before in 2021. That was when that was running Rally 2 machinery. And yeah, it's one of those funny things when you look at the WRC ladders and how they changed over time. He's been brought up through the Motorsport Ireland stable with the Rally Academy supporting him since it had teamed up with Hyundai back in 2020. And yeah, he's going into his second full season with Owen Tracy continuing to be alongside him. He is a second-generation rally driver. His father, Owen McAlean, has been a driver and co-driver before. As for John Armstrong, you're going to recognise him if you played Dirt Rally 2.0, as he was one of the avatars in that, 31 years old. And these past couple of seasons have been some of the strongest ones for him. He's really bedded himself in with M Sport, where he had a background as a mechanic in a bit of a kind of Chris Meek sense. His rallying career goes back to 2008, but he regularly started competing with Fiestas in 2012, and yeah, in 2016 ended up taking part in the Drive D-Man Cup. From there, he ended up with some WRC2 running as well. Ended up picking up a top 10 in 2017 there. And yeah, stuck with M Sport throughout. Did some ERC appearances, Junior ERC, Junior WRC. You might have become aware of him in 2020 when he had that massive shunt in the R2T19 as the first round of the JWRC. It was one where he just went off and hit a telegraph pole, I think. But yeah, did some WRC3 and the Junior WRC in that sense, and ended up picking up a win in Sweden in 2022 for the first Rally 3 appearance in the JWRC. He then won ERC3 quite comprehensively in 2023. In 2024, started off doing the ERC and had some good performances there. End of season Rally Silesia, he should have probably won had it not been for a couple of bits and pieces that came up in the final day. I think it included a puncher at one point. Then yes, this year ended up competing in the ERC again, was the runner-up. Had a couple of incidents, for example, was out of Sierra Morena, the season opener, ended up finishing 14th in Rally Hungary, I think 10th for the ERC classification, but it was the late season, it was after Scandinavia where it started to pick up. He got 3rd place in Poland. Rome he had issues and ended up only down in 11th, but then 2nd place for the Bahrain Rally and 2 wins to round out the season. You might have also seen him in other places, given that he dates the daughter of Colin McRae, Holly McRae, who has started her own rallying career and is part of her own industry with McRae Media, has been presenting the BRC for recent seasons, as well as popping up in WRC and ERC and Dirtfish content as a presenter. But yeah, John Armstrong, somebody who you will have seen around. He's M-Sport through and through, and now he's being rewarded with a Motorsport Ireland funded drive for 2026. But as I mentioned, both have been supported by Motorsport Ireland in their climb up the ladder, and it's Motorsport Ireland's backing that has secured them the drives with M-Sport. Because for M-Sport to be able to field the cars, they need to have a certain amount of funding going in with it as well. And this is part of the success of Motorsport Ireland. And it's an effort that's been going on over recent years. Somebody who you could argue was the flagship of it was the late Craig Breen, who did so much to represent Irish rallying on the world stage, but this has been a programme that's been in the works for years. Like I said, for McAlean, he was picked up by Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy around 2020. That's when they'd linked up with Hyundai when Craig was driving for Hyundai. And Armstrong himself has been picked up a couple of times over the years, but most notably around the 2023-2024 mark. Both of them are from Northern Ireland but compete under the Irish tricolour, and that's where they're picked up by Motorsport Ireland, because you can be a citizen of both if you're from Northern Ireland. And it's one of the things you will see if you have a look into a lot of the talent that Motorsport Ireland backs. There's a large amount of them who are from the northern part, who are from part of the UK. And it's just part of the things that's great about Irish motorsports is you see people from both the UK part of Northern Ireland and also from the Republic ending up working together and ending up working to make Irish rallying and Irish motorsport more generally a better place. It's great to see these efforts being supported by national organisations. I know Motorsport UK does this to a similar degree with different programmes on all kinds of ladders. The FFSA used to historically do a lot of this as well. In fact, it was because of the FFSA programmes that we ended up with successes of the likes of Sebastian Loeb and Sebastian Ogier, both of whom did a career switch. Ogier from skiing and being a ski instructor, Loeb from being a gymnast, into rallying through FFSA-backed programs. And you could see it even in their earlier careers. Loeb's first start in the Toyota Corolla, before he does the JWRC with Citroën in 01. It's a Corolla that is white, but it carries FFSA branding. Ogier, when he appears in the WRC in 2008, in the JWRC. Yeah, you got the outfits that somebody recently pointed out. Could they have made the Citroën badge any bigger? But there's not as big as the square Citroën badge, a massive FFSA badge as well. The French authorities had done really well on doing that over the noughties, and to be honest, there are a few others who are doing as much backing right now, at least in rallying, as Motorsport Ireland. You'll see so many drivers popping up in the junior ladders and in the supporting ladders for the WRC and the ERC and the BRC as well, who are all Motorsport Ireland graduates. And it's fantastic to see that these efforts are being rewarded with not one, but two full-time places in the WRC in 2026. Especially given that we have only a handful of other seats that are full-time in the WRC in 2026. Now, I do want to briefly talk about the two drivers who have lost out through this. I mean, there have been rumours of more drivers who've lost out, though, for example, someone like Nikolai Grajin was also tipped to potentially have a look at that third Hyundai seat that went the way of Padden, Lappi and Sordo. But the two that I think of most are the two who drove for M Sport at various points in the last couple of seasons. Gregoire Munster, who did 2 seasons with M Sport, the last 2 seasons with M Sport, and he's just got on a podium on the Safari Classic with Jordan Sertorides. And then Martin Sesks. Munster showed a lot of performance over the last couple of years, a lot of improvement in his performance as well. He, in my predictions, ended up ahead of McAleen, both in terms of points, but also in terms of best finish. I thought it might go one way, one the other. And he has been a capable driver. He's been a capable co-driver for Sertorides on the Classic Safari. But at the same time, a lot of what was putting him in the seat was the backing from Jordan Sertorides, who has backed other drivers in the past. I think his greatest success was Thierry Neuville. But for the driver from Luxembourg, who his brother Charles also competes, he is a capable driver. I'd like to see him pop up with M Sport machinery in, say, Rally 2, or working with them on whatever they're doing for WRC 27. If he then does what, say, Elfyn Evans did, or Adrien Fourmeau, he could end up with some successes like Evans or Fourmeau. It'd be a shame to see him leave the M Sport fold entirely. As for Martin Sesks, his funding was partially backed by the WRC promoter. They were putting money in for young drivers to be put forward for a few different events, and Sesks had that. Sami Pyrie also had that. But it's about getting the money together. I wouldn't rule out seeing Sesks at possibly a couple of rounds next year, though I reckon he's probably going to spend some time putting together a Rally 2 program, either for the ERC or the WRC 2. My money would be on him teaming up with MRF again in the ERC for a full effort there. Because the eyes have got to be on WRC 27. I will probably do a video talking about that, either individually elsewhere or as part of the next general notice. But WRC 27 is a big reset, and we do have confirmation now of a tuning manufacturer that's in there with Riley and Pedigree, with Yves Maton behind it. If you want to get to the top, you don't need to rush in for 2026. You can wait till 2027. When you look at drivers who tried the end of WRC Plus to get in, Oliver Solberg had a horrible time with the start of Rally 1, and at the same time so did Pierre-Louis Loubet. The only driver who was able to make that switch work was Carlo Rompera, and that's because he had such recent Rally 2 experience, and also he's probably going to be going down as one of the greatest rally drivers of all time. Either way, folks, those are my thoughts, feelings, and observations about all of that. As always, thanks so much for watching and joining, and till next time, it's bye-bye for now.